Welcome back. Welcome back to the Green Screen Shows. Drew Carey's Green Screen Show. Our next game is really fun. It's called Story. Jeff is going to conduct it, right, Jeff?
Yes.
What's going to happen is we're all going to sit in these stools here, and then we're going to make up a story for you, one little bit at a time. Jeff's going to point to us, and when he points to the next person, they have to pick up where the last person left off, and kind of keep the story going.
How about let's get the title of an adventure movie.
The what? Superb Ego. The Superb Ego.
Yes.
The Superb Ego. I like that. Ready? Superb. Here's the story of the Superb Ego, conducted by Jeff Diggs.
Paul sat alone in his room, filled with pride in himself. He was practically bursting at the seams at the thought of his own existence.
Me. He looked into the
mirror and said,
Me. He saw in the reflection of the mirror behind him a lot of mirrors reflecting the reflection of himself.
I'm in love 1,000 times with me.
But the king got drift of Paul's giant
ego and said, I will not let this stand in my kingdom.
And so he declared a day of
competition between Paul and everyone who
had the first name Steve. Steves from all around the kingdom showed up at the competition.
And it was called the Festival of Steves plus Paul.
Everyone gathered on the
mound of grass near the king's palace.
The Steves lined up for the big competition against
Paul.
Now the competition of scent. We need to smell
the pits of Paul.
Yes, Paul's pits smelled like crushed fruit, dipped in honey and delivered by angels to a bed of
roses. He knew that the scent competition would be the last, so he had kept crushed fruit and honey underneath his armpits.
Paul swelled with pride, even more than he
usually did. And when you're swollen with pride, well, anyway, later on that afternoon,
the entire competition just
came to a halt as all the bees in the kingdom flew to his armpits and began stinging him.
Once again, he was swollen, not with pride, but with bee venom, coursing through his body like
stuff that goes through your bloodstream.
Yes.
Luckily for him, the final competition was who had the most swollen
armpits.
It was Paul. Paul was swollen from head to
toe. But in walked Big Pit Steve. He had the largest, most swollen
pits in all of the kingdom.
Oh, my God, and they stink to high
heaven.
Then everything stopped. The king had an idea. I will hold a competition for the most humble. See the twist? The twist was that Paul had an ego. He couldn't be humbled. But to win, he had to have the most humbleness of anyone. His mind couldn't take this.
But
it could in a way. He tried to be humble. He said, oh, I
am the most
humble. I can't even be in the shadow of Steve. Because, oh, what am I saying? I'm going mad. Fear, I go mad. Then his eyes exploded. Ow. That hurts.
Now Paul and all the Steves had
no eyeballs.
All around them, in all three rivers, they stood, realizing that they were now in a town that someday would be called Pittsburgh.